as we're hearing that this is exactly what has unfolded now, is that these have been launched by Ukraine, U.S. missiles, ATACMS. We're hearing 6 of them have been launched, and they also hit facilities in Russia. And now overnight we are hearing that Vladimir Putin, he is saying that the nuclear doctrines have changed. So let me go ahead and get you caught up on this. So that was the video footage that is coming out. This is coming out all across the news media headlines as things have significantly escalated overnight. But let's go ahead and take a look at this article right here that's going to give us some more detail. There are several of these, but this particular one is going to be linked in the description below, coming out from The Guardian. It says Ukraine fires U.S.-made attack of missiles into Russia after ban lifted by Biden. First such use of missiles came hours after Vladimir Putin lowered Moscow's threshold for using nuclear weapons. Now, the article says Ukraine has fired U.S.-made long-range missiles into Russia for the first time since the Biden administration lifted restrictions on their use, drawing a warning from Moscow that it would respond accordingly. Russia's defense ministry reported that Ukraine launched 6 U.S.-made ATACMS missiles targeting the southwestern Bryansk region overnight. The ministry claimed that 5 of the missiles were shot down and another was damaged. The ministry added that debris from rockets caused a fire at an unnamed military facility. The Ukrainian attack struck an ammunition warehouse in Bryansk region, and New York Times reported, citing U.S. and Ukrainian officials. The region lies northwest of the Kursk region, where the Ukrainian incursion has been underway since early August. Now, the reports emerged hours after Vladimir Putin signed a revised nuclear doctrine lowering the threshold for using nuclear weapons as the Kremlin intensified its rhetoric over Biden's decision to permit Kiev to use U.S.-made long-range missiles for strikes inside of Russia. Ukraine's general staff did not confirm the use of missiles, but said in a statement on Facebook that it hit a military arsenal of the 1046th Logistics Center outside of the city of Kharkiv. The destruction of ammunition depots will continue for the army of the Russian occupiers in order to stop the armed aggression of the Russian Federation against Ukraine, it said. Russian independent media reported that residents of Kharkiv heard explosions overnight. Several videos are circulating online, purportedly from the Kharkiv district, featured the sound of detonations and visible flashes. Russia's longtime foreign minister, Sergei Lavrov, said that his country would respond accordingly to the attack on the Bryansk region. Lavrov, who is in the Rio de Janeiro for the G20 summit, said the Ukrainian use of ATACMS was a clear signal that the West wants to escalate this conflict. Without the Americans, it is impossible to use these high-tech missiles, as Putin has repeatedly said. So again, these are direct warnings to the United States for the use of these weapons. Now, Russia's revised nuclear doctrine declares that a conventional attack on Russia by any nation that is supported by a nuclear power will be considered a joint attack on the country. So, to clarify, their nuclear doctrine said that if a nuclear nation hit them, that they then were justified in a nuclear response. However, if a non-nuclear nation, which is Ukraine, strikes Russia, there would not be a nuclear response. Well, overnight, that doctrine has changed, and it says that if there is a supporting power, which would be the United States, it would be considered a joint attack. So Russia is now saying that with the attacks that unfolded overnight, it is as if the U.S. has attacked Russia. The doctrine, which outlines the conditions under which Russia's leadership might consider launching a nuclear strike, also state that an attack using conventional missiles, drones, and other aircrafts could be seen as a justification for a nuclear response. So these are the nuclear warnings that we are receiving overnight after these attacks have unfolded, with U.S. missiles hitting Russia from Ukraine. While Russia has been planning to update its nuclear doctrine for months, the timing of Putin's signature will be seen as a clear reaction to Biden's decision to allow Ukraine to conduct strikes with the 190-mile range Army tactical missile systems, known with the acronym ATACMS, deep into sovereign Russian domain. Shortly after Putin signed the decree, the Kremlin said the purpose of the updated nuclear doctrine was to make potential enemies understand the inevitability of retaliation for an attack on Russia or its allies. The Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov appear to directly suggest that Russia might respond with nuclear weapons if Ukraine used Western-supplied missiles to strike targets inside of Russia. The use of Western non-nuclear missiles by Kiev against Russia under the new doctrine could provoke a nuclear response, he said. Peskov also stressed that any attack on Russia by a non-nuclear state with the participation of a nuclear state would be considered a joint attack. Russia has always viewed nuclear weapons as a deterrent, the use of which is an extreme, forced measure, Peskov said. Lavrov said that he hoped that Moscow's new nuclear doctrine would be attentively read in the West. As both Moscow and Kiev mark the 1,000th day of the Russian full-scale invasion, Peskov also said that Russia would defeat Ukraine. Putin frequently invoked Moscow's nuclear arsenal, the world's biggest, in the early days of the invasion of Ukraine, pledging repeatedly to use all means necessary to defend Russia. He later appeared to moderate his rhetoric, but officials close to the Russian president recently told NATO countries they risk provoking nuclear war if they were to give the green light for Ukraine to use long-range weapons. Britain is also expecting to supply its own Storm Shadow missiles for use by Ukraine on targets inside of Russia. Approval. We are now hearing that Britain is doing the same. So again, a lot of people saying this is going to be escalating into all-out global conflict, World War III. It does appear that we are seeing sides being drawn as the United States has allowed. There you have it, you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below as we're hearing that this is